it's time for the latest in the world of K-sports. From the FIFA Club World Cup to team transfers to the latest in the KBO. Now we are joined by our sportscaster Jason Lee in the studio, who will bring us all the highlights. Hello, Jason, and happy Friday.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
All right, so let's talk about the FIFA Club World Cup. It is taking place in the U.S. right now, but it's actually the end for Korea, represented by Ulsan Hyundai, of course. So how did the games go?
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Unfortunately, things did not go well for Ulsan Hyundai FC as they lost all three of their games, most recently to Germany's Borussia Dortmund 1-0. That was yesterday morning. And to be honest, I've got to say that Cho Hyun-woo, who is Korea's national team starting keeper, was really the only reason that the score wasn't even more lopsided. He really kind of did his part to keep the team in it. Ulsan Hyundai FC already had no chance of advancing to the round of 16 after a 1-0 loss to Mamelodi Sundown FC of South Africa, followed by a 4-2 loss to Brazil's Fluminense FC as well. So really a not good situation for the first two games. Obviously disappointing that Ulsan finishes 0-3 for the tournament, but at the same time, I mean, these are some pretty good teams. And in the end, I thought that they kind of did hold their own for the most part. But yeah, it would have been nice if they could have pulled out a draw or perhaps even a win. Certainly against the South African side, I think was their best opportunity to pick up some points. But unfortunately, they go out 0-3.
And speaking of soccer, we want to also talk about K-League Ki-sung-yueng. It seems like Ki-sung-yueng and FC Seoul are parting away. Please fill us in with this update. Why is this so?
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm a little bit sad to a certain degree that this is going on. Ki-sung-yueng was actually one of my favorite Korean players, starting off with FC Seoul back in 2006 and also playing for Celtic, Swansea City, Sunderland, Newcastle United, as well as Mallorca before returning to FC Seoul in 2020. I mean, he's now 36 years old, and at that age, most normal players, I mean, they're already retired by that point, but Ki-sung-yueng feels that he still has some football left in him and he wants to contribute to any team if possible. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that it's going to be for FC Seoul. Just the way that FC Seoul's roster is constructed, I think it just makes more sense for both sides to part ways, and that's what they're agreeing to do. So Ki will be moved to another team where he can essentially gain some more playing time. And nothing has been finalized yet, but the Pohang Steelers have been reported to be the most likely destination that Ki-sung-yueng would end up for as he wants to continue his K-League One career. And by the way, just in case, if you're not a soccer fan and you're wondering who is Ki-sung-yueng, I think I've seen his face before. He is the husband of Han Hye-jin, of course, who is quite famous in Korea as both an actress as well as a TV host.
Right, and also for every four-year soccer fans who watch the World Cup, he actually participated in 3 World Cups and used to be the captain of the national team. So that's probably where he, at the first World Cup he participated, that's when he got the biggest fan base, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually got a Ki-sung-yueng uniform, an official Korea team uniform at home. So like I said, I was a huge fan of his, especially in his younger years.
So I guess fans will get to see him play a little more.
Yeah, hopefully.
And now, speaking of players switching teams, now moving from soccer to baseball, it's not really very often that we see a trade during the KBO mid-season, but the LG Twins and KT Wiz have agreed for a trade.
Yeah, as you mentioned, definitely very rare. And none of the names involved are really household names for casual fans, but I think this is more of a deal about roster management and future outlook. So the deal saw the LG Twins send 24-year-old lefty Im Jun-hyung to the KT Wiz for hitter Chun Sung-ho and catcher Kim Jun-tae. Now, Kim Jun-tae is probably the most recognizable name in the deal, but I'd say he's probably the more of a toss-in player in the trade because we know what he is at 30 years of age, and for the most part, he's a backup catcher in terms of the KBO, especially at this point in his career. As for the younger guys in the deal, they're more of a speculative piece, I would say, as Chun Sung-ho being a part-time player who's been up and down from the Futures League. And he's kind of been great in the Futures League, but then unimpressive in the KBO. So my bet is that someone in the LG team, maybe their coaching staff or within the organization, is kind of thinking that they can coach him into a breakout because he certainly has shown potential. He's got some skill and talent, but maybe he just hasn't had the right direction as of yet. So someone's thinking, hey, give him to me, I'll coach him, and we'll make him into a better player, is my guess. As for what KT is getting back, Im Jun-hyung has looked great in 5 games this year, all coming in this past month of June. And I've got to wonder if LG was trying to sell high on him because Im had an ERA over 5 coming into the season for his career. And now he's allowed just 1 run in 4 2/3 innings this year. So very great, but that's a very small sample size. So can he keep it up is the question. And my understanding is that the LG Twins actually reached out to the K2 Wiz saying that, they're looking for some hitters and they kind of dangled him out there. So it kind of looks more like them moving him while he's hot. But you never know, I could be wrong. Maybe KT is able to turn him into an ace and, all will be fine, but we'll have to see.
Well, let's see how this will affect the upcoming games.
Yeah.
Right. The LG Twins give up a reliever, but it would have been perfect if they got their former closer, Woo-suk, back because it looks like he's staying in North America for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it does appear to be the case. There was some speculation that he might return to Korea. And, this is sort of another reason that I wonder if LG was trying to push out Im Jun-hyung. Because if they did get Woo-suk back, then, it would have been a numbers game and the reason why they dealt in. But, that wasn't the case. Anyways, yes, let's talk about Woo-suk. He was the top reliever in the KBO in 2023, and then the LG Twins allowed him to pursue a major league career as he signed with the San Diego Padres. Now, partly through last season, the Padres traded him to the Marlins, and then earlier this month, the Marlins released him, sparking the speculation that he might return to the Twins in the KBO. However, Woo-suk has signed on with another major league team as he signed on with the Detroit Tigers, who are actually the best team in the American League right now. So Go has yet to play in the major leagues as he spent his entire time with both San Diego and Miami in the minors. And for now, that's the expectation with the Tigers as well, as he's going to report to their AAA team, the Toledo Mud Hens. More recently, Go's ERA was actually just 1.59 with the Miami Marlins AAA team, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, although that was, once again, a very small sample size of just 5 2/3 innings. But if he can stick with Detroit, he's going to be joining a really good team that actually does need some bullpen help as well. So this could be a great move for him and a team to join if things work out. And let's say hypothetically, if they don't work out and he does return back to Korea, I'm sure the LG Twins would be very happy about that.
Right.
Of course. And moving back to domestic baseball, the All-Star game is coming up on July 12th, and the rosters are set, and one player broke the record for most votes, votes, that is.
Most votes. Yeah, I've got to say, it wasn't actually who I would have expected to get the most votes. It was actually Kim So-hyun, the Hanwha Eagles closer. He led all players getting 1.7 million votes from fans, and that broke the previous record of 1.4 million votes for Kia's Yang Hyun-jung. That was back in 2022. So, why did Kim So-hyun get so many votes? I mean, he doesn't lead the league in saves, but he's only 3 behind the saves leader, Park Young-hyun, and he's got the best ERA among the top closers. And that, along with the fact that he was the first overall pick in the 2023 draft and is having a bit of a breakout party this year. So, and, you know, of course, he plays for the first place Hanwha Eagles right now. And, of course, it is Hanwha that is hosting the All-Star game. So I think all the local fans were trying to stuff the ballot box to make sure that one of their own made it too. You know, they've got a lot of passionate fans there. They're in first place right now. And certainly good for him.
Right. And also the All-Star game is going to be held at the Eagles' new home stadium in Daejeon.
Beautiful
so
park.
That's going to be exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting. And speaking of the All-Star teams, there's always players that deserve to be on the team or deserve to be on the list, but don't make it. So is there any player that kind of did not make the list?
Yeah, I think anytime that it's fan voting that is considered first, then, you know, that's going to happen. And I think for the most part, the most deserving players are, I think, in the starting lineup for the most part. But if I were to highlight a few players deserving, the first name that comes to mind, I would say, is Samsung center fielder Kim Sung-yueng. He's leading the league in hitting right now with a .354 batting average, and his .932 OPS is good for fourth best in the league right now. And, you know, you could basically argue that the season that he's having is probably better than his own teammate Gu Jauk has, you know, been voted in as a starter in right field. But obviously, Gu has been an all-star many times. He's largely regarded as the best player on Samsung and one of the best players in the KBO. I would also say LG's Moon Bo-kyung is also putting up all-star numbers with a .299 average and 13 home runs. But the top third baseman vote getter for the Nanum team is injured star Kim Do-young. Last year's MVP, he's injured, so it's unfortunate that you know, he's got the most votes. But I think the fact that he's got a hamstring injury, he hasn't been playing, and because of that, I think we could probably expect Moon Bo-kyung to just be the starter for the All-Star game anyway. So he didn't get the most votes and the recognition for that. That goes to Kim Do-young. But I think Moon Bo-kyung will be recognized regardless.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason, for all the updates and your analysis, and looking forward to next time.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank you, Bella, as always. Have a great weekend and see you next week.
Yes, I'll be back next week.